Hello everyone, this is a tutorial on how to use RNG manipulation for your starter Pokemon in Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen. So this is a very common found technique for speedruns, which grants you very good Squirtles very consistently by manipulating the random number generator. So I've tried to lay it out this layout here, that you can see everything that you need. On the left there are two programs. The top one is the Pokemon Gen 3 Story Manip by MK which you will find a link in the video description, and the second one is Eon Timer, which you'll also find a link in the video description. And then at the top right is just a timer that will be used for reference. You need a timer, by the way, because you need to time stuff. But if you're doing a speedrun, you should have a timer anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem. So let's check out the program here first. This is the Gen 3 Story Manip by MK and you will find a lot of information here at first. You will need to fill out everything here, so you should pay attention. So first off, the most obvious thing that you're gonna do is change your Pokemon from Bulbasaur. You can just type S and Q on your keyboard and we'll get a Squirtle. Select that. And then at the top here you can see IV constraint. These are the IVs that you're aiming for. IVs are basically the hidden values for the stats and stuff. If you don't know what IVs are, you can look that up on like Bulbapedia or something, I guess. But it's basically what you're going for here. So minus, neutral, plus. Minus means with a minus nature, neutral is neutral nature, plus is plus nature. So what we want to put in here is on attack, we want neutral to be 24. So this just means that your attack IV on a neutral nature is going to be 24 or above. Special attack in the plus you want 25, and speed in the neutrals you want 19. So this is going to be your IV spread, just like that. You can leave the rest blank for now. Now we have natures up here. The only two ones you want to select are mild and rash. So it will only give you mild and rash Squirtles. And then the last thing you want to do is min frame and max frame. So the first frame you want is 4100. This basically means that 4100 is going to be the first frame the game checks for a Squirtle with good stats. And then for the last frame you want to select 4900. This is very high. 4900 you have to wait a long time to get on, but if you're just starting out, you can wait that long. It's like you lose 10 seconds at the start, but if it's a really good Squirtle, I mean, you can take that. You can lower this time if you want though. So that's basically it for the Gen 3 Story Manip. So how it works now is you input a trainer ID. Let's just say my trainer ID were 55555, and then you hit search. And I actually got no Squirtles, so let's try a different ID. So getting no Squirtles here in the found list just means that in between those two frames there were no Squirtles that were with these IVs here. So let's try a different ID. Let's try like, I don't know, 64178. See if that gives us results. Yes. So here you have 3 results. And this program is built up into different sections here. So these are the stats. This is the HP IV, which we set to 0 because we don't care. Attack, you can see all of these are above 24 because that's what we set it at, 24 or above. Defense, special attack, they're all above 25 or 25 or above, where we set it at. Special defense and speed, and they're all 19 or above. And so now during your RNG manipulation, this has to happen really quickly, but you have to choose which one is the best. So I can like already see that this one would be the best here, because it has the highest speed, it has just one less special attack than this one, but it also has better speed, better attack, and it has the best defenses from all the three here. Though HP is 0, but that really doesn't matter. This Squirtle is the best choice. So you have to decide this fairly quickly during your RNG manipulation process. So that's pretty much it for the Story Manip. And then once you reset, like if you don't get the Squirtle you were aiming for, you can just hit clear trainer ID and you can go ahead and try again. Okay, so we're back here. And one thing I want to note is for this to work, you will have to set your timer. I'm using live split here. You'll have to go to the settings of your timer and set the start and split hotkey to spacebar. That is because if you focus on the Eon timer window, so I'm now focused with my mouse, and then you hit the arrow keys, you can move around here. And then if I would have had update, I can move around at the bottom row here with my arrow keys. And if I hit spacebar on start, it will start Eon timer. At the same time, it'll start live split if you have global hotkeys activated. So that is what we're going to use here. As far as Eon timer goes, there are some settings that Eon timer has. If I can just get the window up here, which should be okay. Sorry for the little cut, but this is the settings window from Eon timer, and the main thing here is the timer feature. So on this drop-down menu, it'll be set to NDS by default. You want to change that to GBA, and refresh interval will be set to 8. You want to set that to 1. And then on actions, the countdown mode, you can do it audio only, visually only. I have it set to AV, which means on the Eon timer it will display the time and the sound. The sound is what Eon timer is mostly used for, to get an audio cue, which I and many other people are really good at, or better at hitting audio than visual cues. The sound, you can change it, it's just personal preference, and you can leave this as default. And application, you can change the opacity of the window, and you can change if you exit the program, if you want to ask to save, autosave, or do nothing. So I always autosave and then click save. Alright, we're back in Eon timer here. So once that's set, you want to click on the 3 here, the 3 for generation 3, and then here on this drop down menu, set it from standard to variable target. So normally it says standard here, but you want to change it to variable target. And then pre-timer, set that to 0, and target frame, you can set that to basically anything you want. 40803 just happens to be the last Squirtle I was going for in an RNG manipulation attempt, but it really doesn't matter. Okay, so once you got all that set up, it's finally time to start the game. So you don't want to start your timer yet, because the moment your timer should be started is after you name yourself. And that is because the game generates the seed and your trainer ID once your name is set. So choose your name and then hit start to hover over the OK button. Now you want to make sure global hotkeys are on live split. Hit update on Eon timer and move the arrow keys over start. Like that. And now you want to hit spacebar and your A button on your Game Boy or the key that you have your emulator bind to at the same time. So you'll press OK in-game and start your timer and Eon timer. So just like this. So now you can see Eon timer says cancel instead of start. Now you just want to go through this process as fast as possible, mashing buttons. I'm just going to show this very quickly here, and then I'll explain what I'll do. So check your trainer ID here. 29488. And then you want to put 29488 into your Gen 3 Story Manip. Hit search, and we'll get 3 Squirtles here. And the best I can see is probably the first one here. So the frame is 4192. You want to subtract 18 from that, which means your frame will be 4174. Put that into Eon timer and hit update. And now it will count down how many frames you have left to pick the Squirtle up. And then hit A on your Squirtle as soon as the Eon timer counts down. So that's basically a very fast rundown of what you want to do. I'll go into that a bit more in detail. So now if you check our Pokemon, we have a calm nature. So the good thing about the Gen 3 Starter Manip program is you can click the search around frame button, and it will display all the adjacent frames to your Pokemon that you're aiming for. So I was aiming for this Rash over here, and I got a Calm, so there is one right here which is very early. Is there one late? There's also one that is late. So I could have been a bit early, I could have been a bit late. 8 frames. I could have been 8 frames early or 8 frames late. So that was actually very far off, but let's go over what happens in a bit more detail. So again, you want to choose new game here, and only start the timer when you choose your name, which I'm not going to do right now since I would be in kind of a rush. And I just want to explain what's going on. So I can just mash through all this. You can take as long as you want for this, it doesn't matter. Choose your name, and now you would start your timer. Then just mash through this as fast as possible. Give your rival one character name as well. Just generic Pokemon speedrun stuff. You want to check your trainer ID, which in my case is 48529. And then when I'm going down here, like during the transition, I like to import my trainer ID. So I already forgot it because I'm talking. 48529. So I'm just gonna put that in. (48529) and click search. So obviously you don't want to wait here, since that would advance a lot of frames, but you want to do it while walking. I usually do it that I have my left hand on the D-pad, and then the right hand is typing out the trainer ID. You can also do it while you are in this cutscene here. But what I like to do is, because I already have it set, during this cutscene I like to check for the Squirtles. This time I only have one, so there's nothing to really search for. It is a mild with good stats overall, except for defense, which is 0, and I also have a minus defense nature. And now what you would do here is you would check the frame, which is 4800 in my case. And then you don't want to put the 4800 just into target frame, but you want to subtract 18 frames from it. So obviously 4800 minus 18 would be 4,388. No, 82. 82, not 88. So you would put that in here. The 4,388 onto target frame. And then you would hit update. And as soon as you hit update, you will also get a timer up here, which counts down the frames you have left. And then you want to get here. You can click through this text box, and this text box. And as soon as you clear this text box, your Squirtle stats are determined. So you want to clear this text box as soon as your timer runs out. And obviously I have an audio cue set, so I use the audio cue to know when I have to hit A to get the Squirtle. So I hope that wasn't too confusing. Let's just do another try here. So clear the trainer ID, hit update on Eon timer, cursor over start, hit new game. Mash through the text. And name yourself and hit start and spacebar at the same time. Now we want to check the trainer ID, which is 44192. Hit search. We got 1, which is at frame 4395. Subtract 18, that would be 4377. 4377. And hit update. We'll get the timer that counts down. Mash through this text. One, two, three. Wait on this text box. Name the Squirtle. And we got a quirky. So search around frame. We were that is 4 frames early, this quirky here. So still pretty far off. 4 frames. So let's do one final try. So again, update, cursor over start, hit new game. Oh, clear train ready, of course. Update, start. Whenever you have to do stuff like that, make sure you're focused in Eon timer again. That's the important part, that you get Eon timer and your timer life split running at the same time. Mash through all the text. A271. I actually made a mistake on movement there. And we have 2. So this one's a rash, this one's a mild. I think I'm gonna go for the rash this time. So it's 4795, so 4777. And hit update. 1, 2, and wait until Eon Timer gives you the audio cue. And that seems to be a few frames early again. So search around frame, we'll hit that. And see what we got. We've got a sassy. So we were 3 frames early. Got 1 frame closer this time. But I hope you understood the generals of the RNG-Manip. Again, you'll find all the download links to the programs I used in the description. And I will also link the speedrunning guide from JP Xinam, which I used to learn this game at the start when I started off. It's a really handy, useful guide. But yeah, thanks for watching, I guess, and happy speedrunning and RNG manipulating.